Perhaps you've had the experience of facing a challenge, whether it's exam period or a difficult relationship, or even facing temptation and really deeply desiring to overcome, to not fall into sin. And the advice that is so often given is to pray for the grace to overcome. Pray for the grace to persevere. And that is certainly a good and noble thing to do. But we have this idea of grace that seems to be somehow removed from the person of Jesus. It's somehow separate from who he is. It's like a power that we can tap into, perhaps like the Force in Star Wars. If you remember the original storyline, Luke Skywalker, of course the great hero of the first three movies, is a late bloomer to the Force. And he goes to, where does he go to learn the Force? The Dagobah system, that's right. And Yoda is teaching him the ways of the Force. So as he's learning, as he's going through these exercises, the spaceship that he arrived in, his X-Wing, sinks into the water of the swamp. And Yoda tells him to lift it, to raise it, to use the Force to raise the X-Wing. And well, let's see what happens. I know I have been there, perhaps you've been there, the moment where we're facing that challenge, that study period, that temptation. We pray for the grace to overcome, to persevere, and then we watch, after maybe a moment of success, a glimmer of hope, and then we watch it fade. We watch the X-Wing sink beneath the surface, even further than it was before. And how are you left feeling in that moment? It's compounding the experience of failure. Not only could I not do it on my own strength, but I couldn't do it after praying for grace, and there's an utter feeling of being alone and being incapable of overcoming sin, incapable of overcoming temptation, or of growing in virtue, or becoming who I know I should be. I've tried, I prayed for the grace, and still, I can't seem to make any headway. This experience of being alone is not the Christian way. That is not grace. That is not the good news of the gospel. It is, I believe, a sin to separate grace from the person of Jesus Christ. We cannot talk about grace without talking about Jesus. That's what the whole Christmas season is about. Christ incarnate. God became man. He became among us. His presence, his relationship made available to us so that we no longer face life alone. This is the restoration of grace that must occur. To know Jesus in relationship. Instead of facing it alone, I choose to invite him in. Invite Jesus in. Invite the Father into my experience. Into this challenge that I'm facing. Even into this sin, I invite him in because he is not ashamed of it. He's not scandalized by my weakness. He's not upset by my inability to move forward. He wants to walk with me, to walk together, to face this together. The last thing he wants is for you, or for me, to feel alone. But the marvelous thing about our faith is that when we invite him in, we may find ourselves surprised he's already there. And he's been there all along. His is not the voice saying, get it together, you better fix this, you should be better than this, you should be beyond this, you should move further than this. That is not his voice. His is the voice that says, son, my daughter, I know how hard it is. I know how hard you've tried. I love you. Let's face this together.
forgiveness that is offered to you tonight came with great cost.